On this week's show, how to be an effective salesman in your business.
Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Blueprint podcast. We're here every Monday at 12 midday. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an upload. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and you can watch us on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Russell Leeds.
Hey, I'm Alasdair Cunningham.
And welcome to the Entrepreneur's Blueprint podcast. I've been joined this week. You haven't been on for 5 or 6 weeks? It's been a while.
I've not been on your Entrepreneur's Blueprint for some time now. Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, so it's good to have you back on.
I keep seeing them coming out. I'm like, dude, where was my invite? But yeah, I'm here.
So are you back on now? When I get desperate, you're there as a backup.
I'm the last minute. I'm like the 2 o'clock girl.
How you doing though? You keeping well?
Yeah. So, man. Week 6 of lockdown. Doing what we can. So we can, staying positive. That's all we can do.
Good. Now, the reason I want to talk about sales is because I think it's one of the most important aspects to your business, my business, everyone's business. You know, it doesn't matter who's got the best sort of customer service. Important, sure it is. Who's got the best product, even, it's important, sure it is. But the companies that do the best, the people that can market and sell the best. And the reason that Apple have done so well when they had the iPod, for example, compared to the other MP3 players on the market, it's just the way they marketed it.
Of course.
And the way which is, in essence, is selling it as well when you're talking on that sort of scale.
Yeah.
So I thought that we would start, this week going into maybe do a little bit of series on sales and going into how practically, people that are watching this can some easy steps to make them better at selling and therefore make their business more profitable, make more money. Would you agree actually with me? Do you agree that sales is the most important part of your business?
100%. Every business I've been in, up until recently, like I've always been pretty good at selling, but my first business that lacked because I wasn't great at selling myself. But then I learned skills on how to sell yourself and how to be good at selling and marketing. And businesses started to grow from there. But I think categorically, without a shadow of a doubt, being able to sell and being able to market and drive business to your business is fundamentally the backbone of your business.
Yeah, I agree. And I always say, because I've obviously in my book, which I released recently, I take people through kind of the sales system. And for me, people often say, what's more important, being able to sell or having a great product? I think you kind of need both. I think sales is really important, but I think if you don't believe you've got a great product, you're not going to be able to sell it effectively anyway. So the first step for me in the sales system is you need to sell yourself first on your product and what you're selling. If you don't believe, and when I say sell yourself, I don't mean sell yourself in terms of I'm going to make a lot of money from this. I mean putting yourself in the customer's shoes and be like, this is a great deal for them. If they buy this, they're going to get so much value from it. I would buy it if I was them.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's number one. I completely agree with you. Number one is put yourself in the customer's viewpoint, make yourself the customer and actually say, would you buy this product? Would you use this service? Would you find it useful, find it valuable? 100%. Yeah.
I remember when I was recently training some people on how to speak to landlords about rent to rents.
Yeah.
And in their mind, in essence, you're selling that. You're selling them on the idea that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And when they ring, normally they're nervous and they're sort of thinking like, is the landlord going to go for it? And they're very much thinking of it from their point of view. It's like, hold on a second, stop. Put yourself in the shoes of the other person and think about why it's a good deal for them and how you can make it attractive for them. So it's like, okay, well, why is it a good deal for them? It's because they get a guaranteed rent. Who doesn't want a guaranteed rent? Yeah.
Course, yeah.
It's because they're going to not have any voids. They're not going to have to pay any management fees. They're not going to have to pay for the refurb. They're not going to have to pay. And it's like when they're not going to have to pay for repairs because you're going to sort that. And you start going through the list. And you're like, actually, damn, this is a really good product that you've got. And suddenly, when you're selling it to them, your mindset has totally changed because you've sold yourself on what you're offering them before you can even attempt to sell it to anyone else, you've got to sell it to yourself first.
Do you know when you genuinely believe that the product or service you offer is certainly one of the best out there, it's so much easier to sell because the product or service kind of sells itself. You still have to sell it, but you're already part of the way there. Do you know what I mean? It's like take anything. If you believe that it's the best, like 20% of that job is already done. You're not having to get over that initial hurdle of trying to convince them it's the best because you believe it's the best. So then you can just talk from experience and talk from, listen, it's like take rent to rent as a prime example. Like I know the people that do well in rent to rent are the people that know how to speak to landlords and how to actually explain the benefits, the features and benefits correctly, and how it benefits the landlord. The ones that go into it from a nervous disposition and they actually don't believe in it, then they're the ones that struggle. But if you go in and you believe in it, if you believe in the service, the product that your business sells or offers, then like it's so good. It's honestly, it's so good.
Yeah.
Not that it brings passion out of you, because like it's like when I'm speaking to people about like coming to do some training or coming to do this or buying a deal from us, like I speak from my heart and I speak from passion, and it comes across as much. It's more genuine for a start because it is genuine, because it's coming from a place of actually this is a frigging good product. Look what it's done for us. Look what it's done for this person. So it's so much easier. It makes.
I find as well especially when you get down the line in a sale, if you believe like this person is a moron for not buying this off me because it's such an amazing deal, it's such value for money, they'd be stupid not to buy it.
Yeah,
I think that if you've got that mindset, it makes you so much better. I think before you sell anything, spend a lot of time thinking what are the pros and selling it to yourself before you even attempt to sell it to anyone else.
Write them all down. Like, do you know what I mean? Write everything down. What the pros and cons of the service or the business that you offer. Just write it down and like have a really good understanding of what the pros, what the cons are, what's so great about it. Don't just think, oh yeah, I'll go out and try and sell this. Actually feel it. Like get passionate about it. Get passionate about what you sell. This is the bread and butter of your business. Make it your life. Become obsessed. As Grant Cardone says, be obsessed. Don't be average. Like if you're obsessed by it, then you'll do well out of it.
Yeah. And if you don't, if you think about it and you go like, I remember this is a good analogy actually. We used to when we ran our children's entertainment company a few years ago, we had obviously the entertainment we sold, and we sold that really, really well. We had about somewhere between about 38 and about 42, only about 40% conversion rate. So when someone would ring in, bear in mind, they're normally calling 4, 5, 6 different people, and some of them won't buy at all. But to be converting 40% is pretty good, right? And we decided to add an add-on product, which was party bags. So a great way of making a bit of extra money. We buy them in for £1. We used to wholesale them in from this wholesalers. We'd sell them on for like £1.50, or I can't remember the price now, but let's say that. Sell them for £1.50. if you sell 20 bags, it's for no work whatsoever. Bang, an extra tenner profit. No hassle. We didn't even have to touch them. We just send the order on to the party bag person who would post it to them, and we would just make the difference. So it's like, if we could be making 10, 15, 20 quid extra profit on each one, it's absolute no-brainer, right? So we set it up, and for some reason, I don't know why, but we could never sell them. We'd sell a couple, but we hardly ever used to sell them, and I never really knew why. And then I remember it was my daughter's birthday, and we booked our own children's entertainment company because I obviously really liked them. And then Anna said to me, "Oh, should we get the party bags from?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "They're crap. We'll make them ourselves." And as I said it, I suddenly thought, "That's why we don't sell them. We don't believe that they're very, very good." And it was such a lesson for me. It was like, man, we're not selling them because we don't think they're any good. So no wonder we can't sell them, because when we go to sell them to people, I'm like, "Oh, would you like some party bags?" that was kind of it, because we didn't go, oh, the bags are amazing, you're going to get this and that, and because we didn't really rate them. And it was like, even products in your own company, there might be certain stuff that you have. I don't know if you're watching this, what products you have, but I bet you this is the case. If you've got products in your business that you don't personally particularly like, or you're a salesman, you've got products that you like versus the ones you don't like, you will sell the ones you like way more than the ones that you don't like. Why? Because you are sold on them. And I've found personally, anything that I've got, I don't do it anymore at all. If there's a product I don't like it, I'm just like, I'm not even touching it. It was one of after that pie bag thing, that was my lesson. So anything I sell, I only sell stuff that I think is awesome and worth every single penny.
Like, okay, I agree with that entirely, right? So my first business, I was a commercial vehicle mechanic. So I had a bus and coach workshop. And where that business lacked was my lack of marketing skills, because I was a mechanic at the end of the day, right? I wasn't a businessman. I didn't want to work for somebody. So I started a business fixing buses and coaches, and I grew that business. But my conversion rate for actually anyone that called me, any big companies that called me and wanted me to do their work, our conversion rate was ridiculous. It was like 75, 80%. It was very, very high. My problem was getting them to call me, not actually the conversation on the phone or and it was the getting that phone call. So it literally 75, 80% of the contracts that came our way for business, we secured, but we weren't getting that many leads. Do you know what I mean? So that's where that business struggled. My next business was part of a franchise group, and it involved like direct sales, like sales, one-on-one sales to a client. And I truly believe, they had two products that I really believed in. The diagnostics machines, the machines that used to diagnose the vehicles for faults, and their big tool the tool cabinets, the big toolboxes. I believed they were the best in the world. And as a result, because I believed they were the best in the world, like the amount of times I won like salesperson of the quarter, like I constantly, I was selling them. Like in Milton Keynes, I sold so many toolboxes, literally to a point where I couldn't sell anymore because I flooded the market of my area in Milton Keynes. And whereas I was selling 3 or 4 toolboxes a week, I got to a point where I was doing 2 a month because I just flooded the market with them. And the market, I couldn't grow the market any bigger. And it was the same with diagnostics machine, because I really believed in the product. I believed that they're going to help the end user, that if they buy this product, they're going to be able to make money from their business. And because I'd used them as well, I knew how good they were. And it was just like me selling them. It was like water off a duck's back. It was so easy. It was so easy for me to sell because I knew exactly how to use them. I knew the benefits of them. I knew the features. I knew what they could do, what they couldn't do. I knew the strengths, the weaknesses. I knew everything about them. And I knew why they were the best. And I truly believed they were the best. And that's why I was probably the best salesman in that area for the period of time that I was there. And it's like, well, not just the area. At one point, I was probably in the top 10 of salespeople in the whole of the UK for this product. There was one, we had the company that I worked with had a competition, and everyone else had 4 months to do this. I had 2 months, and I come second. Like I done in 2 months what everyone, like, it's just because I really believed in the product and I'm good at selling. So
do you know, like when people that think they might not be able to sell something, it might be literally because they've got a product that they don't really think is that great. So let's say you're a paper salesman, you're just like, well, it's just paper. You might not be very good, but if you had something you were passionate about, you might suddenly. The reason I said that is I've just started watching The American Office.
Yeah, I was gonna say The Office. Yeah. As soon as you said that, okay, go on.
But like, let's say you've got something you are passionate about that you think that's great, and it might be something you're not even being paid to sell. It might be that you go to a restaurant and you're like, that restaurant's amazing, and you go home, and guess what you then do to your family and friends? Oh my goodness, you should go and check out this restaurant. It's amazing. You've got this, you've got that, the way that they serve you. Or you watch a film that you like think is amazing. Yeah. I'm like you just said to me off camera. Have you seen? I can't remember what you said now. I wasn't listening. Just suddenly remembered that program you were telling me I should watch.
Ozarks.
Have you seen Ozarks? I was like, no. You're like, dude, you need to. And you start selling me on Ozarks. Why? Because you think it's good. However, Name a film that you think's crap.
Cats.
Oh my goodness! Right, try and sell me on Cats.
Because it's shit. I turned it off after like 25, 30 minutes.
I went to the cinema to see it.
At least it was dark. You could have a sleep. Like at least it was dark in there. You could have had a sleep.
Yeah. Ricky Gervais said. He said the whole world got to see James Corden as a fat pussy.
That's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
He said, and he was also in Cats, but not many people saw that.
Ricky Gervais is he's got to be one of the all-time favorite comedians. I actually love that guy.
So if you were selling tickets to his show, you'd be able to sell it. So that's what I mean. No, it's so important. If you're going to sell something, you can't just think,
Speaking about Ricky Gervais, have you seen Afterlife?
I've seen series 1.
Series 2's just come out. It's really good. Watch it.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really believe in it.
You trying to sell me on it? Yeah, exactly. Because you like it and you believe in it. So I would say, if you're going to sell, first step of sales, sell yourself. If you don't like your product, make it so you do. Write down all the reasons, but maybe tweak it. I mean, if it's your business and it's like you offer a service, okay, what can we do to make that service so good that I'm going to be, when I talk about it, it's going to be irresistible to my clients? How can we tweak it? How can we improve it? What can I offer? What can I get my staff to do? What can I get our people to do? What can the price be? We talked about McDonald's before, about how obviously they can sell. Now, they haven't got the best burger in the world, but what they have got is good value for money. They've got consistency of product and service. They've got speed. They've lots of things they've got. So it might be that you've not, it might be that you're not the best at what you do. Let's say, I don't know what it is that you do. You might be a mechanic, and I'm not like a Ferrari mechanic, but we get back to people the same day. We do, we are honest with our quotes. So many mechanics rip people off. We don't. Just knowing that when you're selling it, you're like, if they go to someone else, they can get ripped off.
Yeah.
Whereas they're going to come to us. And when you've got that kind of belief in what you do, suddenly it makes the whole sales process so much easier, especially when dealing with complaints, questions, etc.
Yeah, I think if the more you believe in your product and the more you genuinely actually think it's going to help people or help the community or whatever, then you're going to have less problems, you're going to have less complaints, you're going to have less unhappiness, all that sort of stuff. And I think you got to believe. If you believe in your product, then you'll be able to sell it. If you don't believe in your product, if you think your product lacks, then make it so it doesn't lack. Bump it up. Or just like you just don't think it's all that. It's like when we looked into the party bags again, we realised that we were going to have to get them good enough. We stopped doing them because we were like, to get them good enough that we can really sell them, they'll be then too expensive, so we won't be able to sell them. Yeah,
and it's like, so we just thought, look, let's not even bother. What's the point?
One of the things that I done with my first business, commercial vehicle repairs, is one of the biggest costs that I see, or I used to see with commercial vehicle maintenance, was actually the operators not maintaining their vehicles. It wasn't the maintenance, it was the lack of maintenance, because they would just run them to the ground and then they would have massive repair bills. They would not change the oil on vehicles for 5 years, and they would just literally run these things to the ground. So what part of the service that my business offered was we would have every 6 weeks, we had a plan where the vehicles would come in, and for a fixed price, it would get the required services that it need. So the couple of things were good about this. One, the vehicles were getting maintained on a regular basis. Two, the operators knew that the vehicles were getting looked at properly, and they were getting regular inspections, and also they were up to date with the schedule of maintenance. And thirdly, the operators could budget accordingly because they knew that the prices were fixed for what we were going to be doing. The only time there'd be an additional expense is if something went wrong that wasn't part of the maintenance. Now, what I'm trying to get at is that package was so good that it was an easy sale. It was a complete and utter easy sale, because all I had to do was show them one invoice from their lack of maintenance that would be £5,000 or £6,000. They say, look, this is because you didn't maintain it. This is because you didn't do X. However, going forward, for £599 a month or whatever, you can have this, and it will cut this. It might still cost the same, but it will spread it over the year, and it will prevent bigger problems. So just go on to the maintenance plan. And it worked very, very well. And that's why we had a very good conversion from that.
What would you say then about sayings like, oh, you could sell ice to an Eskimo? Because obviously,
why would you want to?
That's not. I'm not saying that you would. I'm just saying that there are some salespeople. Like, what about Jordan Belfort's business when he was on Wall Street? He was selling what he knew was a crap product.
Okay, well, that comes down to ethics.
Yeah, but not necessarily just ethics though, because like we're saying that it's really, if you've got a crap product, it's actually really hard to convincingly sell it because you know it's crap and you just can't sell it. So how would someone like that? I think that you do need to be won over, and I do think you do need to love your product. But how do you explain something like that? What
was Jordan Belfort won over on? Was he won over in the fact that he's going to make lots of money? Or was he won over in the fact that he was going to benefit or his customer was going to benefit?
No, but when he was selling the stock to them and he was making it sound really like, I just had something to
again, because it comes back to because he was won over in the fact that he was going to make lots of money. So it's when you're on that, when you believe that, maybe that's dependent. It depends on where your ethic, your moral compass lies. And where your ethics lie and things like that.
I think this is what I think the answer is. I agree with what you're saying, but I think that most people couldn't do what Jordan Belfort did. I wouldn't be able to sell, to take the money off them and be like not hard selling, but really going to town on this is so awesome. If I just thought it was a pile of crap, which he clearly did think was a pile of crap.
Do it, and I couldn't do it either. Listen, we both met Jordan Belfort. You were there, weren't you?
Yeah.
We both met Jordan Belfort, and he's already he's admitted his wrongdoings. He's not like he's condoning it.
We all know it's wrong, but what I'm saying is, do you think it takes a special kind of person to be able to sell something that they think is just awful?
Yeah,
I do. I think most people watching this, and most people, if they had a product that they thought was crap, they'd end up being. There might be the odd person who can sell us to an Eskimo, who can take a crap product, make it sound great and sell it. But I think for 99% of people,
you're
going to be a much better salesperson. I think that it's kind of like it's the rule of thumb is you need to love your product before you can sell it.
Yeah,
for most people.
I agree with you. You need to just take a little picture.
Why?
I don't know. Just you need to love your product, and I think if you don't love your product and if you don't believe in it, you ain't going to be able to sell it. And I think the whole aspect of selling things you don't believe in, it just ain't going to work because you're going to lose motivation. You're going to lose heart. You're not going to believe. If you've got to believe, you've got to have heart in what you do. And if you don't have heart,
sound like one of those preachers.
You got to believe. You got to believe, my friend. If you don't believe in what you sell, give up or change it to. It's like listen. Listen. We train like a lot of people to make money from property, to grow a portfolio, to actually take the first steps into making a property investment in some description, right? And one of the biggest hurdles we face is they actually don't believe they can do it, right? And it comes down to anything. If they don't believe they can do it, then nobody else is going to believe in that product. So if you don't believe in the product you sell, then nobody else is going to believe in it. So I think the first thing you've got to do is believe that what you're selling is fundamentally the best on the market. It's fundamentally nobody else can do it, or nobody else can do it as good as you. You're the best person to deliver that product. Your company is the best company to deliver that product. And if you don't believe that, give up or change. It's simple. Now, have you ever been to a restaurant where the waiter comes out to you and then they actually sell the menu to you? Have you ever been to experience that?
I've never had to buy the menu, no.
Dude, that's not what I mean. It's where you sit down and they start reeling off the menu. They start reeling off the food.
Yeah.
They love. Do you see how much more passionate they are? Like, do you know what I mean? Because they love their menu, they love what they sell, and it comes out in passion because they genuinely believe. But if they didn't believe, if they thought their carbonara pasta was shit, they ain't going to be able to sell it, are they? If they were like, yeah,
It's funny you said that, because when you said it, I was thinking Italian. It's Italians that tend to do it, isn't it? It's
they're all
Italian restaurants.
fans, and they're all, yeah, very, very much. And it's like they come out and they're like, oh yes, this is the best carbonara ever, and they know it, and the pasta's fresh.
Was that? Hold on.
No.
Was that the beginning of an Italian accent that then you phased into Scottish? Let's hear it again.
I can't do accents.
I know, but you tried, and I want to hear it.
No, I can't. Right.
Go on.
My point being is, listen, when you go to...
this is the best carbonara you've ever tried.
No, you just got to add the... I can't
Tried. Go on, let's see you do it.
No.
Have a try. Look, it can't be worse than what I just did. All right, you ready on 3?
No.
3, 2, 1, go. Okay, you're going to say, try our spaghetti carbonara. It's the best you'll ever tasted. You ready on 3? Yes.
Oh,
you've got to do it on 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
Try your spaghetti carbonara. See, it sounds like a Borat. It's Borat, mate. No, my point being is when they believe in their menu, they sell it. Think about Gino Di Campo. He believes in all his food. Listen, look how passionate he is when he talks about food.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
All right,
about what you sell, man. If you're not, change your product or give up.
I agree. So, finally, something we agree on.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Often.
No, it's not. There you go. So, sum it up. First step, before you can say anything, before you read any of the sales books, before you try and work on your script, before you do anything at all, make sure that you're sold on what you're selling first. Make sure you love it. Make sure you're won over. First step of selling. Al, thanks ever so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. Guys, do not forget to subscribe. We're here every single week. Entrepreneurs tips, teaching you on all the steps to be an entrepreneur. If you haven't checked out my book, by the way, as well, I may have put a link in there. You can buy it on Amazon at the moment, $1.99 for the Kindle, or you can get the paper copy for £7.99 as well. So please do check that out. And I will see you next week.